What else is there left to say about the Breville dual boiler or the Sage dual boiler, depending on where you live in the world? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the build of this machine. We're going to talk about its features that it offers, about the usability, the ergonomics, and of course about the result in the cup. And would like to preface this by talking about my experience so far with dual boilers. I have had the Mini Vivaldi by La Spaziale. I have also had a heat exchanger in the Rocket Giotto. This dual boiler blows both of those for me out of the water. And I'm not saying that because I got this on loan from Sage Appliances. I'm saying that because this thing just kicks ass. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's just get started with the video. All right, so let's talk about the features of this machine and, well, the build. So this machine is made almost completely out of metal. As you can see, the casing is a stainless steel one. The top part, I think, is some kind of really hard plastic, but it's very robust. It's got a thing you can flip at the top, and that's where you can fill in the water. You can also fill it from the back. Taking a look here at the drip tray, something I really like about this machine is the fact that the drip tray is actually a little bit smaller, still very big. But the thing I like the most is that you don't have to empty it very often. Because this is a dual boiler, you don't have to cool down a thermal block or a boiler each time that you're steaming. And that is awesome. Therefore, you don't end up with a whole lot of water in here, and it's not a water hog. Super nice. Another thing, of course, you've got this knob here you can turn so that you can move this guy around. And that is nice for cleaning. The drip tray is also something that's been nicely designed because it's really easy to wipe off. Any kind of debris you get on there wipes off super easy. It's also easy to remove it and to clean all the parts inside. Something I appreciate about this brand is that they're always thinking about how to make things a little easier to do. Talking about steam, this is probably my most favorite part about this machine. That is really, really dry steam. And with it being so dry, you get drinks that are just, oh, so tasty. I can make drinks with this machine that really rival the best coffee shops. A big part of that is because it's got an excellent steam wand with dry steam. Awesome. Besides that, if we're taking a look here at the control panel, you don't have that many buttons. You've just got a power button, you've got a display, and then you've got three buttons here. Manual, a 1 cup, and a 2 cup. And these are programmable. So if you go into the menu, and if you choose the 1 cup, then you can program the 1 cup as you want. Now you can program this either volumetrically by holding it down the whole time that your extraction is going and then letting go once you've reached the volume you want. Or if you press it once, it's going to start timing and doing the extraction, and then you press it again to stop, and then it will save it by time. And you can do that for the 1 cup and for the 2 cup, which is very convenient. What I like to do, however, is use the manual button, because with this manual button, you override anything that's programmed. Before I get to that, you also have a pre-infusion function in this machine, which is great. So if you hold down these 2 buttons here, you've got a pre-infusion seconds. So right now it's set for 7 seconds, as well as the pump power. So the pump power is set at 60% of maximum pump power right now. You can change it, I believe the range is 60 to 99%. So that is really good. It's going to go at a lower pre-infusion pressure for 7 seconds, and then it's going to come with the full 9 bar. But you can override all of that and get a longer pre-infusion, for example, and that's what I normally do. What I'll normally do is just hold down the manual button, and then I can pre-infuse as long as I want. So you got a nice soft pre-infusion there the whole time I'm holding it down. That can be 5, 10, 15 seconds, as long as I want. And then I've got to stop it when I'm ready. I like to use the manual function the most, but what's nice is, for example, somebody else in your household can do it based on volume or based on time. You got a lot of options there. Finally, what else you can do if you just want to do a quick rinse is you can hold down either one of these buttons, and that's going to override the pre-infusion. So if I just hold this guy down, I can go ahead and rinse. Nice feature. Okay, just a couple more things to talk about. I do really enjoy the haptic usage of this lever on the side for the steam. It's much nicer to me than having to turn something, so that's nice. And then on this side, you've got a knob for the hot water, which comes out of that spout. So that is excellent for making Americanos, for example, or a long black. One other feature I'd like to talk about that's really cool is the fact that it's backlit here. So you can see how much water you've got in the tank. And this machine also features a water sensor. Oh yeah. Right there is a water sensor so that this machine will know if you're running out of water, which I think is excellent. You don't want to start a shot and then have to abort it midway because you run out of water. Not all machines come with a water sensor, so I think that's very good. So at this point in the video, let's just go ahead and start making some drinks. Let's make an espresso, let's make a cappuccino, let's make a latte macchiato, maybe a long black.
Getting value from this video? Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and make some drinks. We're gonna start with an espresso. Did I forget the scale? Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Don't like doing espresso without a scale. Scale is super important. All right, so the very convenient thing is I got this Eureka Libra here, and we're gonna use that to make ourselves our shots. And it's got an integrated scale, which is really nice. And that way I only need a scale over here. So, in you go. Do a little bit of distribution here while I'm at it. Make sure that we get a nice shot. I am using fresh beans. These might even be too fresh. These beans are about 10 days off of roast date. So we might get too much crema. Let's see. As I said, I like to hold down the manual button until I start to see some of the espresso coming out. So let's do that. And then I'm gonna stop it at 35 grams. There it comes. And 30 grams and 35. That shot ran a little long because I had such a long pre-infusion. I did dial it in, but at a slightly smaller dose. But I mean, that still looks pretty good. Let's taste it and see how it is. Certainly very nice crema on there. Nice aroma. I'm sure it's going to have some good body. Silky body for sure on the tongue. Really pungent notes of chocolate in there. It's got a bit of complexity in flavor. It is really a tasty shot. What I like about this machine is that you can really just play with it. Play with the pre-infusion. You can play with the temperature. Right now it's set at 93 degrees. If I was gonna do a lighter roast, like this one here, then I would try probably 95, 96 degrees and see how that works out. But yeah, this is a very nice shot. Even though it ran a little bit long, it's not even bitter. I'm just gonna open up the grind a little bit on the next one. So there we go. That is an espresso for us. Let's go ahead and make a long black. To do that, let's just let some water out. Let's say, I don't know, 100 milliliters, 150 milliliters. Okay, 150 milliliters of water. I'm gonna dial that back just a little bit on the grind. Excellent. And this time I'm gonna try the volumetric option. Alrighty, and you hear that psst. It's got a 3-way solenoid valve on there, just like most of these by Breville have. I had it set at 32 degrees for the volume, and so far in the last 4 attempts I've gotten 33, 31, 32, and now again 32. That is pretty good for a volumetric machine to be able to do that with that consistency. I'm pretty impressed so far. So, oh, that's a nice long black. Nice and hot. You can see it steaming, or at least I can see it steaming. Delightful. A little bit of crema on there. And now, let's go on to one of my favorite drinks, the Latte Macchiato. Of course, one of the best things about the dual boiler is if you're talented enough, I usually forget, you can do the extraction plus do the milk steaming at the same time. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Pour myself my milk, the colder the better. And I find taste-wise also the fatter the better. Get our shot ready. And in this instance, this is really kind of where it's nice to have the volumetric dosing so that you can do two things at once and you don't have to concentrate on stopping the extraction on time. So what I really like about this machine is just how easy it is to steam with. It's got a 3-hole tip on there. You get really, really nice steam power. Not too much power though, which is probably a good thing. If you have too much power, then it's difficult. Look at that, 32 grams. Nice. If you have too much power, it's really difficult to be able to texture the milk. And that was my problem with a different machine I had. It had just too much power in that dual boiler. And therefore, I couldn't do much for texturing the milk properly. That is a really nice textured milk there. And what you're supposed to do for Latte Macchiato is let the milk sit for a little bit in the cup. So we're gonna do that. And then we'll pour our espresso on top. And in the meantime, we'll get ready for a cappuccino. Bam! Nice. Alrighty. Again, I'm gonna try to do two things at once. I'm gonna try to steam the milk and do the extraction, and then we'll see if I can get any latte art or not. Here's my shot. I'm gonna just pour this in the Latte Macchiato. Yep. And there you can see, there's the spot on top. That's where the macchiato term comes from. It means little mark. Oh man. See, that's just the thing. When you steam milk, great. And like with really dry steam, you get such a delightful consistency in your milk foam. And what you're able to do is you're able to pull out the sweetness of the milk. Milk does have sugars in it. So you get that texture, that delightful silky texture, plus a little sweetness. Ooh, tasty. That's really, really nice. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is really, really easy to get a vortex going. And now it's getting warm, so I can lower it a bit. Look at that, 31.5 again. Okay, plenty hot. And make sure to wipe that wand off right away. A trick you can also do is transfer the milk from one pitcher to the next. It is really nice and silky, but this helps to incorporate it further and also helps you with the angle, of pouring. I'm gonna stir both of these things. So there we go, a very, very silky cappuccino. It's going to be very tasty. I can tell just by looking at it. It's got a nice dark brown on top. The milk is silky. I'm not very good at making designs, at least not consistently. I'm gonna try one more time and see how it works out. And one last thing, I do realize with 32 grams coming out and 17.5, I'm just slightly below a 2-to-1 ratio. But I am delighted that it's bringing out 32 grams, which is volumetrically what I set it at. All right, I'm gonna do two things at once here. Let's give it a shot. And that's plenty hot. Okay, so that one was a little better. So we have made ourselves several different drinks, very tasty, all of them. An espresso, a long black, a latte macchiato, a shortened cappuccino, which I will call a flat white because that's how I know it, and then a cappuccino. You can see that the latte art is, it's okay. Nothing perfect, but that's user error. That takes a whole lot of practice to get consistency in latte art. This machine certainly will do an excellent job for you with the milk steaming, getting that really nice silky texture. That's easy to do with this machine. And in fact, in my experience of all the machines I've used, this is the best steamer. And the drinks speak for themselves. There are two downsides I'd like to mention about this machine that I noticed while using it. It doesn't save the clock when you unplug it. So that's kind of too bad, because what you're able to do with this machine is set a clock on it. And you're able to set a wake up timer. So I got this set at 5:30 in the morning to turn on and start heating up so that when I come downstairs that it's already nice and hot. And I nearly forgot to mention it takes 3 minutes to heat up and it takes 5 minutes to have the steam heated up. Of course, you should wait a little bit longer or run a couple of empty shots to get the brew group and the portafilter and everything nice and hot. That's a good thing. It's quick to heat up and you do have a timer. The problem is if you unplug it, then it's going to lose the timer. It's going to lose the time. There's no way to power a clock unless you have a battery in there because it's got, a cycle time. So anyway, that's the one thing. The other thing that's a little unfortunate is that if you have started a shot and if you open up the hot water spigot because you want to, let's say, make a long black and you want to do water and a shot at the same time, then it basically aborts the shot. I'll show you. See? Then the water goes, but the shot stopped. Those are really just the two things that I wanted to mention. Otherwise, very, very delightful machine. Alrighty, I hope this video is helpful for you. And if so, give it a like. If you thought it sucked, give it a dislike. Whatever the case, thanks for being with me. And until next time, I say happy coffee drinking and happy cappuccino drinking. Bye now. Oh, that's pretty good.